Hi everybody, welcome to Friday morning CIS116 Introduction to Programming. My name is Katie and I am your professor for this course. However, as you can see, I am not there the first day. I had surgery this week and I had to take this week off of classes so that I could recover and be ready to come back next week very strong and teach you all about programming. But you have a really great guy there with you today. It's Professor Coates. He knows programming more than I did. He even wrote a book on programming, right, Tim? Yes. He wrote a book on it. He teaches programming at the higher level, much more higher level than I do. And as you get out of this course, you'll probably have him as a teacher, so it's kind of nice to meet him. He's my sub of choice when I am not able to make it. Unfortunately, the first day is a bad day to miss, but like I said, I have to take care of business first. So I wanted to make this short video to say hi and introduce myself and to show you a little bit about the things in Blackboard, and then I'll let Mr. Coates take over the rest of it because he does this too, teaches the same course, and can interact with you a little bit better than I can today anyway. So log into Blackboard if you haven't already, and if you need help, he can help you. If you're at home watching this, we do meet Fridays from 9:30 to 12:30 in 214 of the ATC. And I think this is going to be our classroom, but somebody needs to make sure that we have our software on that computer, on those computers. But we'll take a look too when we get to that point. But this is going to be our regular classroom. There's not a lot going on campus Friday mornings, so you shouldn't have a problem parking. But we do start at 9:30, and almost every week we have something new to talk about or programs to work on, and we do meet face-to-face. So if you're at home watching this, that's okay as well. Just make sure you meet the deadlines. And if you need help, come to class, and that's what this class is all about. So log into Blackboard. Even though we're a face-to-face course, I do post everything in Blackboard so that you can access it throughout the week. We say with a 3-hour class that you can expect 3 hours in class, 3 hours out of class. So your 3 hours in class, you'll be working on programs, you'll be learning things, and then your 3 hours outside of class, you'll probably be working on code, doing assignments, those type of things that, reading the book, getting understanding of what computer programming is. I just want to show you around a little bit, and then Tim has a list of things that he'll go through with you. But in Blackboard, I do use the announcements tab all the time. Make sure that you're checking your student email account. Professor information, if you click on there, you'll see information about me. My email address is the best way to get a hold of me. I check my phone, which gets my email. I check that all the time. So if you have a question on your code, just send me an email, attach your code to the email, and kind of be specific about what you think the problem might be. So the best way to troubleshoot things throughout the week when we do get into coding is to send me an email. I do give you my cell phone. You can also text if you have a general question that is more important, that can't wait for an email, but that information is out there for you. I have a website, katievandermeer.com. We have a department website, grcc.edu/CIS. That's important to find out your curriculum. There's important department announcements out there. Find out who your degree advisor is. A lot of good stuff. So I think a lot of students don't know so much about this website, or they don't go out to it very often, so I wanted to point that out to you. If you're on Facebook, I do have a Facebook page as well, so follow my Facebook page, please. I have a lot of information about what's going on in our department, what's going on in the world of networking, which is what I primarily teach, and then things to do with programming as well. plus things about the college. So go out to Facebook, Katie GRCC, and like my page. I post interesting things like this. Where did all the women coders go? Programming used to be a women's business. It was Grace Hopper developed the first programming language based on words rather than numbers. Women have had a strong pull in the development of programming, and I just thought that was interesting. Ada Lovelace, another name that's founder of computer science. Joan Clark. Anyway, I'm getting tied up on that because I'm passionate about women in IT. But go out to Facebook and like my page. If you are in the networking and curriculum, which, like I mentioned, is what I usually teach, I will probably see you in other courses. But I do post a lot of things that are going on. And this right here, see this? This is our Introduction to Computer Programming class, which is what the class that you're taking right now. Last semester we did a service learning project and we won first place and $3,000 to go back to we took that money and I gave it to some of my students that are here. See, they're happy because they got some cash money from taking this course. And I gave it to the elementary school that benefited kids like this child and this teacher right here. For them to use towards technology. So we do a lot of fun things in this class, and computer programming is it's fun. You'll see. You'll like it. Right, Tim? I'm hearing you smile and go, yes, Katie, yes. But anyway, go out to Facebook, like my page. Oops, there's my YouTube page. A couple other sites I have, my YouTube page like I just went to, another Facebook page, Lady Geeks, if you want to follow that as well. And then information about my teaching style and me personally, if you're interested in that. If you've never, I think most of you are new students to GRCC or new in the programming curriculum. So I don't know you, but we'll meet each other and we'll spend 14 weeks together, 15 weeks together. And I think it's helpful to know each other so we can help each other, or I can help you learn how to code in a way that works best for you. So I kind of explain my teaching style here, and I hope that it matches up with how you learn. I have 18 years. I'm starting my 18th year teaching, and a lot of experience teaching a lot of different type of learners. So I'm sure that we can succeed in this class as long as you, 1, come to class, 2, do the work. It's really all you have to do. It's pretty easy. Do those, you're great. So that's my information. I'm not going to go through all of these links because you can go through them in class with Tim, especially the assignments part. I'll point out the calendar of due dates though. This is our schedule. Our class is going to run from Friday to Friday with assignments being due at 11:59 at night. So 11:59 is basically midnight on Friday nights. It doesn't mean you have to wait till Friday night to do your work. It means that's when it's due. So this is our week that we're starting, September 2nd. We're doing our welcome unit this week, pretty easy. And then that's due September 7th, which is next Friday at 11:59 or by 11:59. Everything in that unit is due. The week when we meet on September 7th, when I'll be back, we're going to cover Chapter 1, and we'll do some programming, and everything that's in that unit is due September 16th. And then on September 16th, we do Chapter 2, and that's due on the 23rd, and you can see how it goes. We cover a majority of the chapters out of our textbook, and we'll look at the textbook in a little bit. And we have some tests sprinkled in there to solidify or test your understanding of the topics that we've covered. End of the class, December 9th is our last day, and then everything is due by December 13th. So, end of the class. Our point breakdown is also listed here on the course schedule. This gives you an idea of all of the points in the class and where your grade comes from. We have 2,039 points in here, so quite a lot of points. But if you look at this grid, most of our points come from quizzes. The majority of them do come from quizzes because we have a quiz for every chapter. Quizzes, you can use your book. They're open note, open book. Those should be, you should get 100% on those. Easy, piece of cake. You have the textbook. Questions come right from the textbook. 700 of our points come from coding assignments, and that's the other big part of our class. The coding assignments and the code with me, they kind of go together. These are problems that I'll give you. It's almost like a math story problem, and then you have to solve it logically, which is what this course is about, and then code it, and then that's what you turn in for your assignment. And in the assignment page, you'll see how it's laid out pretty clearly. But that represents 34, about between the two, about 44% of the course. So in that respect, it's more than the quizzes, but they're about 50-50 in weight. So quizzes and coding are the most important things that you'll do. People in this class have been able to skip the final exam because they've earned enough points that, with the test and the coding and the quizzes and extra credit that comes up, that they can skip the final project. So keep that in mind, but it is worth a 14% of your grade too. So you can see how everything's laid out there. And also, if you go down to the grade icon, right now I'm in calendar of due dates, but if you go down to the grade, not icon, but the grade link, you can see a list of all of the assignments and when they are due. So when I grade something or you submit something, it'll show up in here. And you can see each of the point values as well. And that goes for the whole semester. This doesn't have a total on here. It has your final letter grade, which is an E, but don't let that freak you out because you haven't done anything yet, so it is an E. Nothing to turn in, nothing, you've not done anything. But as you turn things in, this percentage goes up, your grade goes up, and eventually you get to an A, hopefully. So all of your points will also be there in the grade icon. Make sure you check this pretty regularly because I'll grade at least once, well, I'm going to say once a week, but sometimes it's like once every 7 to 10 days, depending on how the calendar works out. But I do try to grade before we meet after something's due. So make sure you check your grades and that something you turned in properly, and that everything is okay on that aspect instead of waiting to the end of the semester and seeing that something back from Unit 1 was missed. So check your grades. That's where you can do that. The assignment tab, this is where you'll see all of the assignments. And I have the entire course posted out here. I teach this class in an online environment as well. So I have all of the, I like to teach it face-to-face better though, because we get to do more things and we get to have more practice with code together. And I just think you learn, coding is kind of an art form, and it takes a lot of examples to excel and to better yourself at programming. And when we can have freedom to explore different code in the classroom, it lets us learn more. So I like teaching it face-to-face. But I have taught it online, and for that reason, I have everything developed, all of the lectures that we use, the assignments that I use, and I have it all posted online because everything will be done through here. I will not once hand you a piece of paper, so everything is here. Oh, that's a lie, because I do print some things off once in a while in class. I'm going to leave the whole class open. I don't think there's anything that I'm going to add at this point that I'm planning on. If so, I'll let you know and you'll be aware of it. But you're welcome to work ahead as long as you meet the deadlines that we have. So all of the units are listed from the beginning to the end, and then make sure you follow the calendar due dates with this assignment tab to see when things are due, and then you can also see the due dates in the grades. Discussion boards, we have a couple discussions in there. Well, one is an introduction discussion I'd like you to do. Somebody's already logged in and has done that 4 days early, 5 days early. Good job. And I would like you to do that so I can learn a little bit about you before I come to class next Saturday or Friday. Saturday class. I did teach that one time, a Saturday class. We don't offer them very anymore, but we used to way back in the day when I started teaching. Anyway, when I come next Friday, I like to learn a little bit about you. So do that discussion board pretty quickly. It's an introduction. It's in Unit 0. And then we have an open forum for random code snippets or things that'll come up. But we don't use discussion boards too much in this class. One, because we meet. So we see each other and we can discuss things together. Syllabus and rubrics down here. Here's our contract. This is CIS116 Introduction to Computer Programming. And this is what this course is about. So Tim can talk a little bit more to you about what you'll learn in this class. But I want to start by saying that it's an introduction to programming. So we assume you have 0 programming experience. If you have some programming experience, that's okay, because one of the things that we focus on in this course is learning the logic and designing programs using the best tools out there and using best problem solving abilities. So it's not just about getting a problem and then finding an answer. It's about how do you get to that answer and thinking logically about the solution. I like to say, looking at programming like I'm driving from the East Belt Line to, let's say, the outlet mall, the new outlet mall down off of 131. So I'm over here on the East Belt Line and I want to drive to the outlet mall. Do I just go, which path do I want to take to get to that location or get to that solution? Do I want to just go straight forward, go down 131 and head right there? Or do I want to go a different direction that might be a little bit more logical based on different things that are going on at that time? So I hope I didn't lose you. But with programming, and if I lost you, then just say, yes, she lost me, and Tim can explain something different. But with programming, we have a lot of programs that can go in different directions that take us to the same place, is what I'm trying to say. And what we're trying to teach you in this class is what is the best way to get to that place. Logically thinking about how you solve programs. So the book we use is Programming, Logic, and Design, because it's not about the language that we use. It's about the logic behind it and the design behind it. So we expect you to have no programming skills. If you know a language, it's probably something like Visual Basic, maybe a little Java, maybe some scripting language. That's cool. That'll help you. But the language isn't as important as the logic behind program solving in this class. Some of the concepts that we'll learn, we have 3 structures of programming that we're going to focus on. We have sequence, decisions, and loops. And then we'll talk about those and how they're all built together, used together to create a high-level programming, something that you can code in a high-level programming language. Technology requirements. Now, everything that we need for software is free to you, and I'll show you where to get that in just a few minutes. Student learning outcomes are listed here. Again, these are just some of the things that we're going to learn in the course. Make sure you're in the right course. And then some other college policies, and I think Tim can talk about all of these. Make sure, Tim, you talk about using student email use your student email, and students with disabilities, register with disability services and let me know so that I know how I can help you. No matter what you think it is that might hold you back, you can overcome it to learn programming. I've taught a blind woman programming. That's hard. But she did it and she can code, and I'm very proud of her. Title IX reporting is a policy that we have here at the school. We are Title IX. We are mandatory reporters for things that we overhear or things that are talked about to us. So I wanted to bring that to your attention too, in case your other teachers don't. That's a college policy that we are all mandatory reporters now. So if something's going on and you need to talk to somebody, we have a counseling department. To me, again, that's important. I want to make sure you know about that. Disability services, use your student email, and then we have other policies as well that are equally important, but you can read through those. There's our point breakdown again. Grading rubrics. I'll try to leave comments on grading, or I'll email you if there's something wrong with your grade. But also every assignment has a rubric attached to it. So when you get your grade, you can look at the rubric and see, why did you get between an 80 and a 90, and the rubric will explain that. There's some videos in here also you can watch if you're not sure on how the rubrics work. This is Professor Rosema, who teaches a lot of our security courses, and we do a lot of similar rubrics in our CIS courses so that we have consistency with grading among our students. I think that's a benefit. Now, the discussion rubric you don't need to watch. We won't do that, but this lab one will apply to your assignments that you code. Okay, let's go over to required materials. We need, like I mentioned, the cost that is involved in this class is buying the textbook. It's here and listed here. It's by Tony Gaddis, starting out with programming, logic, and design. And I liked this book. It has a lot of great examples, and it is not specific to any programming language, which is good because we are not learning a particular language. We are learning the theory and the logic behind programming. All of our quizzes come from questions from the book, and there's a lot of great resources and references in here. So you'll want to get that. $120 is what I have listed when we do a quick search, but it's been out now for a year or so, year and a half, in an IT textbook terms. That's pretty old. So you can probably find, it's a year and a half old, not that old, but you can probably find it used. It's gone through a couple semester cycles now for a lot cheaper than $120. So look around online if you can, or even in the bookstore, or you can get an e-copy. E-copies are pretty handy if you just want to pull out a couple chapters. You could rent a chapter by chapter. So check it out, but we need a textbook. And then our software that we're going to use, for now, let's leave out Visual Basic. I don't have that currently in our assignment list. I know Mr. Coates does in his course, uses some VB, and you can get that through Dreamspark on the hub for free, and you probably should, but you could get the whole Visual Studio, which is for programming. But what we're going to use in our class is Small Basic. And Small Basic is a free Microsoft language. It is so basic that it won't even allow us to do everything, but it's pretty handy in teaching, in teaching this course. It allows us to focus on the design and not so much where do I put a semicolon, or how am I passing arguments, or where are my parentheses going. So when you download it, you can click here. Let's see. It's a small download. It'll take you out to here. Download the exe. In fact, I don't know. When was this? 1.2. Okay, this is the one that we're probably using on campus. It's a MSI file, which is just an installation file. Select your language, download. Can somebody, well, actually, why doesn't everybody right now just check your computers? It's the fall semester. I'm not sure if sometimes software problems happen. So check your computer and make sure that Small Basic is on the computers. If not, Tim can figure it out, right? Thank you. But that's the software we're going to use. If you want to use your laptop, bring your laptop to class. If you aren't going to bring your laptop and you're going to use just the computer in your class, in our classroom, get a memory stick. Bring a memory stick because we'll work on code with us that you'll want to work on later in the week to take with you. So instead of saving it to the network drive, which is not accessible off campus, grab it and save it and take it with you. And with these coding projects, it's a lot easier to have a memory stick than like email. Although you could use cloud storage now, it's so prominent, but if you have access to cloud storage or have something set up, you could do that as well. But make sure you have some way to copy or save your files that you can access them throughout the week. Your laptop, if you want to use your laptop, download this for free. Install the .msi file on the installer file. It's a really quick install and a really easy installation process, so you shouldn't have any problems with that. On the hub, I had mentioned on the hub Dreamspark. This is something that you might want to explore. As a student in our department, you have access to a bunch of free Microsoft software, and there's a link to it right there. Here's a video on how to use it if you want to watch that. But one of the pieces of software that I do recommend you download for this is visualstudio.net. This is a programming application, a programming tool that's used in the industry. It's quite large, so make sure you're not running it on an older computer, but you'll use it for your future programming classes like C# and C++, or well, yeah, we use it for C++, I think, and you'll use it for Visual Basic. And if you're going on into programming, you'll be expected to know what it is and some of the things with it. So while you're a student now, I do suggest downloading it. There's a lot of other free software on In the Hub, so just go into follow this link. You're already registered or set up. So if you had a previous account, just do sign in. And if you forgot your password, do forgot password. And if you're new and you've never logged into it before, just register. And you're already in the system. I'm already logged in, so it doesn't actually look like that. But you can register, and it will tell you, it will give you access, and then you can download a whole bunch of really awesome things from On the Hub. Kind of along the same lines of like free stuff, just in case he doesn't plan on telling you about this. In the CIS department website, we have access to Office 365. So over here, there's a link on how you can download or get access to Word, Office, PowerPoint for free. And this is not part of On the Hub, which does cost you money if you buy it through there or through Journey Ed, but here it's free. So make sure you check that out. If you're using a computer, if you just bought one for the semester and you don't have your Office products, you can get it for free while you're a student in our department. So I highly recommend you do that as well. Back to our course, resources. one of the resources, let's see, we have tutoring groups for programming languages. As soon as I know what the fall tutor schedule looks like, I'll send it out to you. Here's some other information. There's the Office in Education. Other information about programming. I think this is the one I want. Introducing Small Basic. Yeah. In this resource, I'm in Resources, and there's a bunch of examples, tutorials. Those are so helpful too. But the language that we're using, Small Basic, doesn't have a book because it's really, really basic. So you want to download this Small Basic PDF document and reference it. Here it is right here. It's just a pretty small document, about 30 pages, I want to say, and it's broken apart into small chapters. So let's say that we learn how to do input in our textbook. We walked in. Hold on a second. We went through the process of doing our input, but I need to know how to do that in programming. So I would go to this chapter where it shows me how to do input. So let's see. That's output. Kind of some neat things. I reference this document right here. So here I want to use variables and I want to do input. It'll show us how to use that. I reference this document a lot in my videos that you'll watch, and then also in class. I usually have a couple printed copies that we can share. So I do have some things on paper for you. But that is huge. That's free. Download that and save that to your list of references. Again, that's I should copy that over to the required materials, but make sure you grab that. I would download these as well, and you can thumb through some of the tutorials and examples in your free time. Okay, for now, that's it. There's a lot of other general information on Blackboard. I'm sorry I can't be there the first day, but I will meet you next week, and you're in good hands for the rest of the day with Mr. Coates. He's going to have you guys take the rest of your time and go through Unit 0, but I don't think I have a code in there. Nope. But first, how about this? Let's do a little twist on the assignment. I think, let's see if everybody is listening to me, but he's going to teach you how to open a program and write some things to the screen and then run it, and you can write your first program today, so you're doing something. How about he shows you how to do this in Small Basic, where you do your discussion board post in code. So the first discussion board, which I had said earlier, was to introduce yourself. It jumps over here. Look, Jake already did his. Sorry, Jake, you can go back and add it, or if you don't happen to come to class, that's okay. But if you're in class, how about you code this in, how about you submit this in code? So he'll show you how to do that. He knows what I'm talking about. Just create a program, write it as a bunch of print statements, introduce yourself, and then copy your code and go over to the discussion board and post. Well, I could have went through that link, and then post it. So you're not going to post a nice, neat paragraph. You're going to post code. Do that. That'll be cool. That'll be a good way to get our hands wet with programming for the first day anyway. Unit 0, there's a quiz on this, and the tour of Blackboard tells you some important things you need to follow along with that we might not have covered or Mr. Coates might not have covered. So you want to go through that as well. And there is an extra credit in there too that you can complete for some free points. So that's all on our calendar for this week. Pretty easy. What I want you to do for next week before we meet, download the software on your laptop or your computer at home so you can code when you're not in class. Get the textbook or access to the textbook or plan to get the textbook, and do everything in Unit 0. You can check your grades. You can see that there's 3 things in there: Quiz 0, discussion board, extra credit tour quiz. This first quiz is worth 6 points. Some of the questions are extra credit, some aren't. Discussion board, do it in your code, and then the course tour. So a lot, definitely not 6 hours worth of work this week, but he'll keep you busy showing you some fun things with Small Basic and programming. So any other questions you can ask him, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming to class, and I'm sorry I missed you, but I'll see you soon. Bye.